So, what has our favourite Chinese multi-hyphenate government-approved youth spokesperson been up to this week? Find out on the Yibo Weekly. Yes, I know that was a bit of a mouthful, but government spokesperson seems to be the theme of the week in Yiboverse. The national games started in China over the weekend. It's being held in Guangzhou. Yibo released a theme song for the games back in October, Momentum Like a Rainbow. And I'm sure there is a less clunky title translation available somewhere, but that's the best that I've got. A number of official, big official accounts reposted Yibo's song in the lead up to the opening. So on Friday, Saturday, that was it was all over the shop on Weibo. Then on Sunday, it was National Fire Day, and there was a piece to camera Yibo had recorded about that. So National Fire Day is about recognising firefighters and also promoting fire awareness. He spoke about that. And then yesterday, on Tuesday, was released another piece to camera that Yibo had done that was used as part of China's presentation for COP30 in Brazil. And he spoke about how it was, important for young people to be involved in climate protection actions. Anyway, so yes, he was the designated young person speaking about that on China's behalf at the big international climate conference. So all of that happened. I don't really know when any of those pieces were recorded, except, probably not this past week. So apart from that, there is both quite a bit and also not very much news. Defenders of the Hidden, the pangolin conservation documentary that Yibo was involved in, that was released at the beginning of last year, is being shown at the 100 Flowers Golden Rooster Film Festival. They're running a program this year alongside the main competition that is public interest sort of documentaries and things. And Defenders of the Hidden has been chosen to be part of this program. So that's showing at quite an important film festival. And Born to Fly made it onto TV again for the nth time this past week. There was Yibo Official dropped yesterday a bunch of photos and a piece of short video that was actually all taken in Paris a little while ago when Yibo was there for LOEWE. So that was released yesterday. And that is really kind of all the vaguely official Yibo news. The big juicy thing is not anything that Yibo did or said, but a whole bunch of ruction that came out on Thursday about Yibo. Not that he hasn't done anything wrong. Don't get maybe he has. I don't know, but that's not what this is about. So, Yibo's management company is Yuehua Entertainment, the CEO of which is her name is Duhua. I hope I'm pronouncing that vaguely correctly. And she, it's 16 or something years that it's been running. And Yibo was not one of the first group of talents that she signed, but very early, he's first generation. It's 11 years since he debuted, and he was a trainee with them for 3 years before he debuted. So you can see, the company's been around for 16 years. Yibo's been with them for most of that time. they went public a couple of years ago. They put a prospectus out, or maybe 3 years ago. They went public with an IPO on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, I think, on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And so because they are now a publicly traded entity, they release, periodically they release relatively detailed reports about, you know, their earnings and their doings and blah, blah, blah. A new report came out from Yuehua Entertainment on Thursday, and Yibo's name was not mentioned in the report. Now, this could be seen as a, like, you know, an argument from silence, but what happened is the Chinese internet went bananas. In the time since the public offering has happened and all these public reports have been available, it's been clear that Yibo is producing more than half of the overall income of the company. Even though there are many, it's not just one of these boutique things with only a couple of people. That there's dozens of talents under contract with them, but Yibo produces more than half of the income. And at one point, at least, it was 60% or more of the income of the company is him. And he's always been mentioned in the reports multiple times. In the IPO, it became a meme that how many times his name was mentioned in all of the kind of stuff that was released about the company. And he was not mentioned in the latest report. So, is he still with the company? The last information that we know of, he re-signed with the company. So when he originally signed, he signed a 10-year contract, and he worked, and he did all, that 10-year has passed. He recontracted with Yuehua a number of years ago, and I believe it was a 4-year contract that he signed last time, and it was to come due in 2026, which would mean that he was still under contract with Yuehua. There has been a whole bunch of, melons and rumours and stuff that he's leaving. But now the rumours were coming hot and fast that he had actually left. There was a number of different business news things reported on this on Thursday, and they were digging different details up. It turns out Yibo, and this is not new news, I'd actually heard about this before, Yibo has at least, he has 2 or 3 companies registered under his name, and that he's like a director of, and that has and those companies aren't especially active or anything, but they own intellectual property. So he owns the rights to use of his name and stuff in association with certain categories of products, and it's owned through the companies, it's not him personally. And I imagine there's business tax or whatever reasons for that. But anyway, so there was on Thursday, there was all this stuff going on. The Weibo hot search was just wall to wall Wangibo Yuehua Entertainment. It was just it felt like one of the main things that people were talking about on Thursday. Yuehua herself vague posted, which is I'm sorry, I'm just so amused because I think Yuehua is the number 2 earner for that company. She herself is a celebrity. She's a celebrity in her own right, and she does appearances and gets appearance fees. And she's run a number of, Yuehua has produced in the not too recent past a number of pseudo documentary, reality TV shows based on stuff that goes on within their company, and Yuehua's always there. She strikes me as someone who's maybe slightly thin-skinned. I don't know. Anyway, she posted in the heat of all this stuff that was going on Weibo, she posted a post without any kind of obvious context except all of the things that were going on at the time, like a single word, and it was absurd. That's the English translation. It was obviously in Chinese. So yeah, that kind of just fueled the fire. So yeah. Why would you do this? If actually nothing is going on, if there's no problem, if this is all just rumours and no basis, why would you say that? Either say nothing or release an official clarification, but just popping off on Weibo, it's why would you do that? Anyway, that happened, and that just stirred everything up. I almost couldn't get to bed Thursday night. China is a couple of hours behind Australia, so it was late, and it was mid-evening China time while I was going to bed, and I was everything is still happening, and I'm I have to go to bed. I have to go to bed because I've still got stuff I need to do tomorrow morning. When I got up and checked Weibo, by the time I checked Weibo the next day, it had all completely disappeared. There was nothing to be seen. The posts hadn't been disappeared, but all of the searches were gone. And I know things come and go, but it was a big story. And putting on my conspiracy hat for just a minute, I think that it's very likely that somebody put their thumb on the scale at some point there, and because we know that happens with Weibo, the algorithm that produces their hot search lists is not it is obviously manipulated at times for certain reasons. And yeah, nothing, the next day there was nothing to be seen, after being basically the only thing that was happening on Thursday. Yeah, interesting. So I try not to make what I'm talking about on this channel just the gossip rag, but this was a really big kind of thing that happened on Weibo. Lots of questions are still open. The one incontrovertible fact is that Yibo was not mentioned in the report. So that is the news. One, I know I've yapped for a long time, but this stuff is kind of interesting to me. So there's the yap. The one other thing that I will mention here is Yibo adjacent, but not Yibo-ish. Wang Chuangjun, who is Yibo's co-star in Hidden Blade, and also in the upcoming Mermaid movie, which exists as a thing and will be seen at some point, please Jesus. He won Best Actor at the Tokyo International Film Festival this past week for his role in a movie, Mother Tongue. So even though Yibo's movie hasn't come out, Wang Chungjun has got stuff happening. Good for him. I wish him all the best. And that brings us up to brand stuff. As I mentioned earlier, the game started this week. Anta is one of the major sponsors of the games, and Anta put out a a piece of Yibo speaking to camera in support of the athletes with all of the anti-marketing, stuff around it. So that was a little thing from Anta this week. Ling Long, who are also Anta. Ling Long is a Chinese dragon mascot, and it's an Anta thing, but it's kind of independent. And Ling Long it's a really cute ongoing kind of marketing campaign, and Ling Long put out a little GIF that he made of Yibo with him, and it was a part of the Anta ad that he just clipped. Ling Long clipped out the little bit that had Ling Long in it, and he posted, "Look, it's me, wang Yibo." So that was cute. It was Li Dong during the week, the beginning of winter, one of the 24 Chinese solar terms. Every time there's a new solar term, Adolf puts out a photo edit, and they did it again this time. I love things like that I can kind of depend on. I know what's happening. It's like after a while, you're like, why do they keep on doing this? And then after a bit longer, you're like, yeah, it's like just a comfortable old friend. It's one of the new solar terms. Adolf has a new picture. This time around, Cotty Coffee also put something out for Li Dong. They put out a little video of Yibo talking about beginning of winter, and it's the warm coffee season starting, and it didn't look like a big budget production. It kind of looked like Yibo just doing a straight talk to camera, but he looked gorgeous that day. They had him in a green plaid shirt. His hair was curly, and it was very cute. Double 11 this week, and Double 11 shopping festival is this big thing in China, and there were a number of brands that don't post very often that put stuff out in the lead up to Double 11. There was Chunjian put out a new photo of Yibo. It was a really nice photo. Pechoin put out a new something or other. They put out a video, and then they also put out behind the scenes of the video filming. So that was a little bit of extra, and it was quite nice work, the Pechoin one. Super X put out a promotion for Double 11, and I think Master Kong Iced Tea did as well. They post a lot more often, so they're less notable than Chunjian and Pechoin and Super X. But yes, that all happened this week. But like little bits and pieces. There was LOEWE put out some photos yesterday of the same photo shoot that the Yibo official stuff came out of. There was Seacar put out a new set of peripherals, and it's like Chinese-y theme. So like they've got one of the things is a calendar, but it's made in sort of look like a Chinese hanging scroll. So that was interesting. And jeanswest put out a couple of new photos that were really nicely done. So yay, a lot of just little bits and pieces, no like huge new campaign this week, but a lot of nice little things. Just as well, there wasn't anything big because I've spoken for so long about the other stuff. So I'll get out of your hair now. I'll play us out with a little bit of the Yibo official video that came out yesterday of Yibo having a relaxed commute in Paris. I hope you're all well, and I hope you're having a wonderful Wang Yibo Wednesday.